The new decade is since everybody's remaking everything, we looked up ripoffs.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Never saw Simba do that.
Welcome to Battle of the Worst.
What?
Battle of the Worst.
Where are you right now? You're Battle of the Worst.
Guys, we're in 2020.
Oh.
Well, Happy New Year from us at the Black Box.
Chiba. I'm from here, actually.
I mean, this is the first stuff we saw for the new year. This is a terrible year.
Dundee, you're looking after Robin, okay? Yes, sir.
And we found you the worst of the worst.
Of the worst ripoffs of all time.
Under most mysterious circumstances.
Holmes, I couldn't possibly go to New Haven. I have an autopsy to perform. The inquest is tomorrow, and I need to determine the cause of death.
Come, Watson. Perfectly obvious this man succumbed to mercurialism.
How could you possibly know that?
It's elementary. Although these are a working man's hands, they lack the thick calluses caused by lifting heavy fishing nets. However, you'll notice that the left thumb and the fingertips are covered with very old scars.
Lion and the King.
Not the Lion King.
Parentheses, not the Lion King.
He's a coward, an absolute stupid one, a real stupid coward, that's what he is.
We were excited that was only 30 minutes. We're like, we can muscle through this. After 20 minutes of it, we were the last 10 just inched along.
Oh, we checked it a few times after that. We were like, oh my god, these last 3 minutes is gonna be forever.
If I'm being completely honest, that movie felt longer than the last one.
There was a silence in the jungle again. The old lion was the animal's king again, and the bad panther was driven off.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Gain power in the jungle.
I've come to talk with you again.
I think this was like that weird animation stage where it's like kind of like you just take a copy and then you kind of just, oh, we're just gonna change this, and you just kind of copy that, and it's like photocopied like on top of each other.
Disney animation.
Like the cheap way of doing those things that they did back in like the mid 90s before Flash.
I'm pretty sure it involved tracing paper.
Tracing paper and the coloring books. Okay, we got this. All right, no.
Stay here. I'm sorry, Dundee, but he's not allowed out.
So, how many stories were going on in this movie?
15.
There were like 15 different stories. I think the main story was the eventual friendship between enemies.
Fox and the Hound?
Yeah, it was a mixture between Fox and the Hound, Crocodile Dundee,
The Lion King.
And
Did you get some kind of like racist vibe? Because I mean, it wasn't like, oh, the panther. It was like the Black Panther.
Right.
Oh, well, you stay away from the Black Panther.
the Black
You know,
Panther and the gorillas.
Soldiers, come here.
Let's get going. When do we attack?
So,
The Simba character, whose name is Robin, is looking for diamonds that once belonged to his father. Right?
Did it belong to the father? I think the panther just lost it.
You shouldn't talk that way to your son.
and you shouldn't protect him all the time. You're mollycoddling him.
So the Black Panther was the one who was evil, who stole the diamonds and then hid them.
Who?
The Black Panther.
Who?
You're just gonna keep putting up.
So,
Mufasa character is like, Simba, we could use those.
But he had a Transylvanian accent, right?
The diamonds, my God, I'd forgotten them completely.
Yeah, he was like,
No, he was like, blah, blah, don't go there. Oh, no.
We could use those.
I want diamonds.
How many diamonds do I get? One. Two.
Black Panther. On the other side of things, the Black Panther is telling his daughter or son.
Okay, both of them said that they were sons, but they were voiced by women, so you can easily say they were. I thought they were daughters.
The Black Panther.
Meow meow.
Meow meow. Or Mew Mew.
Mew Mew.
I thought it was Mew Mew.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Meow meow.
Mew Mew.
Meow 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 meow.
This is gonna be the rest of the review. Black Panther.
I mean, what even happened to the movie? Nothing happened.
First,
Meow, he's hurt.
Oh, does it look? Can we go on now?
Ready? Ah!
They.
You gotta love the fact whenever the two like little daughters, which were actually supposed to be little like
The two lion cub things.
cubs, basically meet. They're like, oh, I don't like you. I like you. You know what? Let's be friends. Oh, we should be enemies.
I agree.
You look like the bad Black Panther who used to lie again and again.
my father doesn't lie.
Your father, the Black Panther, is your father? I'll tell you what.
Your father is the Black Panther. Your father. Oh yeah. And then a thunderstorm happened, and they all cowered together. And then they're like, "We're friends now." And then the next day, when they showed up, and they were like, "Hey, let's be friends. Let's hang out. Let's do something." And then the other guy's like, "What? No, I can't because your dad's a mean
We should
person.
be enemies.
We should be enemies." And the other guy's like, "Okay." And then they go
And then
apart.
after that, they wanted to be friends again.
And they miss each other so much.
And they go searching for the diamonds. They decide that 4 eyes are better than 2.
What do you want here? That's my rocks.
What do you mean your rock? The rock belongs to all of us.
But that is the Black Panther's son. I won't let him come into my cave. He certainly wants to take it away from me.
What?
And ultimately, both dads show up, go to each other, and the elephants help them out. Elephants and
Monkeys.
the monkeys that were always in the trees, just throwing stuff at the throwing coconuts at the hippo.
Each will get half, and then he can do with it what he wants.
It ended by, they're like, well, why don't you guys, I think it was the crocodile that was like, why don't you guys just split the diamonds 50-50 and do whatever you want with your half? Gerald's movie.
A ripoff of The Time Machine.
Oh no, you're not throwing this one on me.
Oh,
Stop smiling.
Don't. Is this gonna lead to a sex scene?
Is the movie over? You'd be perfectly fine with a movie ending like that.
Yeah, just stay away from the frame. What are we watching? They rated the movie going. The movie's still going. Oh, what the heck?
This is my special ability.
So the time machine I found at a yard sale. At a yard sale. Time machine I found at a yard sale. Also parentheses. Now, this one is probably the strangest thing you could ever see, because it's just about a guy who's riding his bike, who he actually forgot how to ride his bike, but he decided to learn how to do it again. So he's riding his bike, stumbles across a yard sale, goes over to the old man. The old man says, "Hey, give me the $17 you have in your pocket, and you can have this pure gold," which is not gold, it's green, box.
I don't have a lot of money.
I'll settle for the $17 you have in your wallet.
How did you know I had $17?
I know a lot of things, just as you will.
Did he zoom in on the fake gold?
That we don't even show the cut to of the guy because we see him majority of the rest of the movie. So they're like, we need more screen time for the box and the old man.
I was particularly fond of the incredibly close-up shots of the box.
Oh yeah, and then you could really see it wasn't gold.
I couldn't tell what it was. Was it eyes or boobs we were looking at on that box?
I thought it was maybe a frog.
I thought somebody bronzed a dog turd.
Why would you sell a gold box for $17?
Let me tell you something. There isn't enough money in the whole world to buy that. I'm selling it to you because you're the one who's supposed to have it.
I don't understand.
You will.
So then we have an extended long period of time seeing the guy get into his house. He walks into his house, still going into his house.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
getting into his house.
Watching him through the window come up to the house. It took him 2 minutes to open up the front door, but yet it was just there's 2 doors to this front door. So,
then he puts down the box, stares at it for a moment, turns around. This is crucial to the plot. Turns around, walks over to the fridge. Then he walks over to the fridge. He pulls open the fridge. Oh, he opens that door. Then he's going to come around, open the door. He takes the orange juice, grabs the orange juice, grabs a cup. He goes over around. Oh, the cup is in the cupboard. He goes over there, grabs the cup in the cupboard, grabs them both. He pours half a cup of water.
Half a glass?
Half a glass of orange juice. No, that's only about half. It's only about half.
And tell us what he's going to do with that glass, Gerald.
Oh, what he's going to do with that glass. So I'm telling you right now. Let me tell you. Why? This is not something like football. This is like an infomercial, people. This is a freaking infomercial and shit. Let me tell you about that glass of milk. You know what or glass of orange juice. You know what's great about that glass of orange juice?
You telling me he drank that whole glass?
Oh, we had this. No, not quickly, too. We had to watch him take many tiny gulps all the way down.
I guarantee he's like drinking. He just drinks a sip, and then the director's like, all of it. He's like, shit. So he shifts body.
No. Director didn't tell him to do this. Director said, okay, take a little sip and then head back. And he's like, you know what? I've been locked in this basement for years.
we kept making jokes that all the actors in this movie were kidnapped and forced to be in this.
They were just so happy to be out of the basement because that's where they filmed most of it.
Because we get actual shots of them, of like nature and stuff in this movie. But whenever they talk, like if there was people in the scene and they start talking, it suddenly shifts to them in front of a green screen.
Every time they were on set, on actual in the scene, right? They would go, and as soon as they left frame, you'd see that they started running. And so the director had to run, chase them down every single time, lasso them.
Whoa. Do we have any other filmmaker can drag out scenes as long as this filmmaker does, because these things, they last forever.
We watched a snail for a little bit.
Yeah,
a literal snail.
And that was the fastest part of this whole fucking movie.
Time is fluid. It was
oh my god. It's green screen. He goes to the middle of a street, busy street, in green screen fashion, and fingers his box, goes into the future.
10,000 years, they said.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Shits and giggles.
He doesn't know. Just because.
Yeah. She can't run that fast.
Why would they be afraid of him?
Why are they on green screen
An
now?
alarm.
What alarm?
Did you go to your monitors? The columns, they're this tall?
Yeah.
Oh no. Now they'll find both of us. I'll be punished again.
And they talk for the next 20 minutes.
What about? We don't know. We kind of tuned it out because that was just as boring as. But I love.
And then he goes forward in time 1,000 years.
Well, no, keep in mind, I love the fact every single time they're talking to each other, it has to. They'll be on set, on scene, where it's like, oh, it's grass and everything. But then when they have to talk to each other, they're now on a green screen, and they're like, ba 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 ba, and you can tell they are robots. These people are robots.
The camera's directly on them too, and it's not good.
What do the women in your time wear?
Oh, they wear all kinds.
You know, if you stay awake during this, I'll give you $5.
Oh, come on.
I already told you I'll give you $5 if you can stay awake.
It's not flattering, I can tell you that. It is not
and
flattering.
You can tell they look scared. These people, you know how on YouTube everybody's like, oh, this person looks scared like they're doing YouTube. All, oh, it's all like forced YouTube. Or that guy's like eating soup and he's forced and there's these people in these suits behind him petting him and he's crying. I'm telling you right now, these people are crying for help.
Yeah, these people.
They're not acting.
They're blinking Morse code.
Blinking SOS.
Hi, guys. You get so excited for this part, and then you start then you're like, oh, the movie's happening?
Whoops!
I told you.
Yeah, and then they don't do anything. They find a spaceship.
Yep.
That
and they
ends
hijack
up
the spaceship.
Then they forget about the time machine.
At this point, it becomes more Star Wars.
Yeah, we're 25 minutes into the movie. The drool sex scene where they stare at each other and then comb her hair.
Was that the first place they went? The weird crystal cave thing that they went to?
That was the first place they went because after that, I noticed that she always had a smile on her face.
Okay, yes.
Uh-oh. Oh! Oh my god!
Back into the ship, and then they go to the Casbah.
Now, this is where the budget went, guys.
Star Wars.
Oh, and then it was about that point, probably about 2 seconds later, we forgot about the rebellion and said, fuck it.
I think the movie forgot about the rebellion
said,
too.
fuck it. Let's just fly again. And then I love when they're flying, they're like, this is fun.
Yes, it
This is fun. And you're like,
I agree.
You just yell at a scream, this is not fun! We're not having fun! This is the most unfun I've ever had!
You know, I will tell you right now, I actually feel on the inside we should message this guy who directed this and made this
I want to do the takeoff.
and tell him never, ever do this again.
Yeah, they kept saying, we need a break. No, you don't. You need to actually
the main
do
character
something.
just decides to fall fucking asleep. He's like, hey, I can take a break from this movie, but you fuckers can't. You guys gotta watch me sleeping.
And then she murders somebody, another ship, because she now has powers.
Oh yeah, she can feel things.
She went psychic all of a sudden.
Yeah, she can sense things now.
He just made her go into the kitchen and make
did.
some sandwiches. This is sexist. Oh my god.
No, they get to the same. They get to Santa's house from Christie.
Oh my god, no. Yes! They're gonna die.
I loved his distress. They heard like a boom, and they're like, "What was that noise?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm sure it's fine, but let's go."
Just like how when they first entered that planet, she goes, "Oh, I mean, it's not that cold," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not that cold either."
Oh, he dressed like Van Wilder.
Yeah.
You're cold, dude.
And that prompted the main character to be like, "Oh shit!
Isn't there something we had?
Don't we have a time machine?"
Yeah, what was that thing in your backpack?
The time machine I forgot about till the end of the Oh, I thought this was the
Oh,
fuck! Damn it! And he goes, zing! By the way, next shot, hey, here's my parents. Here's my house. Here's my mom, who apparently we're gonna forget about the time where I left all the way into the future and they died alone and sad, not knowing where their little child was, but we came back.
Well, I mean, nothing happened in the last 12 minutes until the very end where they're relaxing on a beach finally, and then she's like, we should really help the rebellion. And he's like, hey, I'll flip a coin. And then he flips the coin, and then he doesn't show it. It's very Inception, okay? And this doesn't flip the coin. Doesn't, and he's like, heads we stay, tails we go. Oh, man. Freeze frame, end of movie. So our third one, which was chosen by myself, I found that there was a ripoff of the Sherlock Holmes film with Robert Downey.
I was really disappointed with this movie for a number of reasons, because it didn't have diamonds or parentheses in the name.
Wait, hold on. What movie were you watching? Because I saw Black Panthers and diamonds everywhere.
It opened with a sinking of a ship with tentacles.
Testicles?
The Kraken!
Testicles.
The Kraken!
Big long testicles coming out and grabbing everybody and sinking a ship. And this guy traumatized from testicles. So bad. And
the director's like, yeah, we're out in the middle of the ocean. And then the cameraman pans and you see the whole dock.
You see the harbor.
Even
scale.
There were the sets were beautiful. Some of these sets were fucking great.
Yeah, but they didn't utilize them at all.
You were like, that's a fucking awesome location. For the most pointless fucking reason ever, where Watson was dangling off that cliff, that was a beautiful cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you right now, I had my butt clenched, but that was because that guy was actually dangling out there because it's the asylum.
Yeah, they don't have a budget. So ultimately, Sherlock Holmes comes in, acknowledges what he's gonna find, and then they go. So he doesn't have to do the autopsy, he can go with it.
Makes my diagnosis of mercury poisoning very nearly indisputable.
And then they go and they talk about the Kraken thing, find the guy who was traumatized by testicles, and
then we have a metrosexual hitting on a granny prostitute.
How much, Mum?
6 coins.
6 pence.
I guarantee I'm worth every penny.
Oh, no, I wasn't implying. It's just that I've only got 3 only.
T-Rex, mini T-Rex, a miniature T-Rex shows up.
It was
and murders everybody.
It was like 6.5 to 7 feet tall.
Velocirex.
It was a Velocirex.
So
right
so
there.
Velocirex comes out, eats the kid, and then it's competent. The movie is competent. It's just there's absurdity speckled throughout.
And they hold true to a lot of the lore for Sherlock Holmes, which I appreciated. Was it boring in a lot of times? The jokes all fell flat for me.
I was kind of angry that Sherlock's addiction in this movie was nicotine.
Go!
Yeah, and he only got that morphine one time, and he was very reluctant in getting it. And he was like, no, and he's like, ah.
Expected him to be like, oh, and then he's all into it. And he's like, oh, hey Watson, jerk me off at the same time.
Jesus.
10 minutes of the movie, we got all his famous lines already set.
No, the first 3 minutes of
Oh, the first 3 minutes of seeing him.
The first scene.
So
he walked in the door and he was like, "It's elementary, Watson."
Yeah, you're like, shut
Brilliant
up.
deduction.
That's the first thing you say?
Just no. I just wish at that moment he goes, "No shit, Sherlock."
Small stone. China kite embedded in Mr. Walton's remains. The only thing on him that remained uncharred, suggesting that it must have become attached to him as he was thrown onto the street.
There's the Velocirex. There's the testicle monster.
And
then
the suit
there's
of
the
armor.
Iron Man.
And the Iron Beast guy. And that ends up being his brother. Sherlock Holmes'
Crippled brother.
Sherlock Holmes' crippled brother from a stray bullet.
Shot by the inspector.
No, that you don't know.
Assumed inspector shot him when you find out he wasn't
do
the
it.
shooter.
It was some just random dude.
And then you find out that the love interest for Watson ends up being a robot. And fighting ensues.
But that's how they assumed it.
No. They
So the guy goes into a giant mechanical dragon and flies off. and then Sherlock says, "Oh, what else do they have around here?" And
I'm going to battle the giant mechanical dragon with a
hot air balloon
that has
with
these little
Gatling guns.
It looked like something Leonardo da Vinci drew.
It got so stupid.
And crumpled up and threw away.
It was
Da Vinci drew that on some toilet paper and said, "No."
Sometimes you don't always draw everything that comes in your mind.
I see Da Vinci sitting backwards on the toilet. They're just going, "Oh, idea!"
With his quill and ink.
He's like, "Oh, idea! All right, this would be perfect." And it's literally just it's a little hot air balloon that and takes the toilet paper from the roll. Damn.
It's a real Harrington there.
It's stupid.
And what happens, Zach?
I think we glossed over one of the main points of what was happening in the final conflict. Sherlock's brother puts a bomb in the robot lady, and she's supposed to walk to Buckingham Palace.
Literally walk.
He's like, it's gonna blow up the second you get there. You're gonna be good. Just catch that train.
You're a robot. You could just be running.
Yeah.
But fuck it, you're gonna walk.
I never understood why he had that little subplot when he's in a giant fucking flying robotic dragon
could
in
just
the
fly over it and
1800s.
blow
Yeah.
fire,
Yeah, he could have just dropped it from above.
Yeah.
Oh, he could have literally just flew the dragon into it.
Well, he's in it.
I know, but
that
like
would
if he
destroy the
cared that
dragon.
much, kamikaze.
That's true. But he didn't want to die. But so Watson had to go stop the robot,
And
which
Sherlock had
I
to go
enjoyed.
battle the thing with the
I
Gatling
enjoyed
gun.
that the most. Watson trying to stop her,
That was
like
very-
shooting her in the back and the sparks flying
These
off her
things
back.
were done
So that was cool.
competently. The most incompetent things are like the monsters, and then all of a sudden the
No.
Gatling gun.
The battle with the dragon and the
Battle
hot air
Royale.
balloon. That was so dumb. And he had hot air balloon problems while he was doing it, and he had all these buttons that he knew exactly what they did.
Then of course it ends happily.
It
Find
ends
this
with
and that.
oh yeah, he jumps out and he has parachute too. Can we name off the things that they didn't have back then? Rebar, parachutes.
Well, you know what? Keep in mind, I'm not a historian, so I'm not going to throw those things out. I'm just looking at the movie as in context. This was dumb.
I'll give them this. Their dinosaur was 10 times better than the dinosaur in the second movie we watched.
Okay, I'm gonna go first this time. This is the time where we vote which is the worst of the night, and hands down for me, it's the Time Machine.
Time Machine?
Yeah, we found it in a graveyard. That one was absolutely
What do you think,
terrible,
Zach?
boring.
The Don't take as much time as the time machine did.
Hold on, let me get some juice.
Yeah, wait. And scene. It's playing.
I'm gonna say mine. Definitely the time machine. I'm never watching that shit again. That was terrible.
So Zach, I mean, your vote does matter.
I'm giving it to Black Panther.
Black Panther. Really? So the lion, the king, the lion and the king. Okay.
All right. Well, you lost because it's 2-1. Because this movie was absolutely horseshit.
Gerald. Yeah. Congratulations.
I would like to thank the worst movie I've seen in a long time. Without you, I could never make this possible, and I am going to drink and erase this from my memory before rest of the year happens. New year, new life, huh?
Happy 2020.
That's it for today.
Yes.
If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.
This is us from the Black Box.
Happy New Year. Black Panther.